Hey everyone, the purpose of this particular screen flow is to help you get started using Keynote. I just want to go over some of the very basics in this program just to help you get started creating a project and throwing some assets into it. Um, when you first open Keynote, you're going to come across this theme chooser window, and it's going to allow you to choose the theme for your Keynote project. Now, obviously, white and black are the basics. We got Venetian, Retro, Kyoto, Brush Canvas, so on and so forth. Now, if you want to see what any of these slides look like without actually opening them up, you can move your mouse over the icon and move it to the left and right, and it'll show you what the slides will look like within that particular theme. So for the purpose of this screen flow, we're just going to use white. So I'm going to select it and hit choose. And we can just go ahead and make it big. Alright. So this is our title slide. Now in it, obviously we can take a cue from what it tells us to do. We can double click to edit this particular title. So for this we could uh, Keynote project, and then we can add a subtitle if we wanted to. Now we can move these anywhere we want within our project, and notice as I drag these up there's a yellow line running down the middle of my project. This is basically a line that helps me keep my example text boxes in the center, and really this will help you keep any asset or any picture, anything that you want on your slide in the center. So we can move it to the left and right. Obviously we're not stuck being in the center, but this will just help us keep us organized. Now let's say that I want to import some assets. Let's say I've got um, some audio and a picture that I would like to import onto this slide. So what I can do is I can go into my Finder window, and I've got a couple of assets right here. The first asset I have is a song, and it's as easy as clicking and dragging into my slide. And when I do that, you'll see my song represented by the speaker icon. And we'll go over that in a little bit. Then I've got this picture. Now when I drag this in, it's going to be extremely large. That's not going to be a problem. We can click on it, and in the top left and right corner we've got these boxes. We can click and drag down, and we can resize it to really any size that we want. Now remember that ruler that guide I was telling you about earlier, this yellow line running down the middle? Well, there's also one that will let me know when I've reached the exact center of my slide. So as I move up, if I want this picture to be exact center, I can just let it snap to right there. Now there's some other things that we can do with this. Let's say that the first thing that I want to have happen is my song to start playing. Then I want my Keynote project title to come in, then my subtitle, and then my picture. So we can use what's called a build inspector to accomplish this. If we go into the top right hand corner, there's this inspector icon, and when we click it, our inspector window comes up. Now these icons across the top, we've got our document inspector, our slide inspector, our build inspector, text inspector, graphic inspector, so on and so forth. Now the thing I'm going to concentrate on right now is the build inspector. So I'm going to click on this yellow diamond. So the first thing I want to have happen on the first click is I want my music to start. So I'm going to come over here to where it says build in. I'm going to click on it, and I want my audio to start. So the very first time I click the right button on my keyboard, it's going to start the audio. The next thing I want to have happen is I want my Keynote project title to come in. So I select it, come over here to build in, and where it says effect, I've got all of these different effects that I can choose to have this title come in as. So let's do something pretty simple. Let's just do comment. and we can actually see how that comes in up at the top as soon as we do that. And we see here that the order is 2. Now the next thing I want to come in is my example. I'll click that, and I will have comment as well, just for cohesion. And I can select the duration down here for each of these build-ins. Right now the build-in is at half a second, which we'll leave alone for now. And then the last thing I want to have happen is I want my picture to come in. So let's say I want, for dramatic effect, it to come in with an anvil. It's just going to come in and settle into place like that. Now, I can check to see how this is working. I can hit Option Command P, and that'll start playing my project. So right now we're just looking at a blank screen. But as soon as I hit the right button on my keyboard, we'll hear that the music starts playing. And then I hit it again, and there's my Keynote project. Example. And there's my picture. Perfect. Now, there's other things that we can do. Let's say I wanted, for some reason, my picture to be slanted a little bit. Well, when I click on it, we see the boxes in the top left, right, and bottom left. We also have resizing boxes on the left, right, top, and bottom. Now, if I move my cursor over the bottom right and I hit Command, we'll see that the arrow turns from a double-sided straight arrow to a double-sided curved arrow. Now I can click and I can drag and I can adjust the tilt of my picture like this. Now there's something else we can do with this picture. If we come over here to the inspector window, we can click on the graphic inspector, and down here we can select shadow, and we can see that that gives us some depth to our picture. We can adjust the offset. We can adjust how much blur there is. Perfect. We can also select reflection, and let me straighten this so we can actually see what this looks like. And we can see reflection. Some people like it. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, I suppose. But you can select how strong the reflection is, just a weak one perhaps. You can also select the opacity. Now this helps if you want to create a watermark to go on the back of your project. For instance, let's say I wanted this to basically cover the entire slide, but I didn't want it to be in the foreground. I could right click on it and I could center back, so now my lettering is in front of my picture, and I can adjust the opacity. So basically, as I adjust this, I'm going to make it more see-through in a way. I can watermark it. Excellent. So if we look at this again, and it comes in there in the background. Now, if you want to add more slides, it's as easy as coming to the top left of your screen and clicking New. And when you do that, another slide's going to come in. If you don't want to use the text boxes that they've provided for you, you can just get rid of them. You come up here to text box and add your own. Now, up here in the top left, you can adjust the font that you want to use. If it gives you the option of choosing bold or italics or regular, you'll be able to choose it in this box, and you can also choose the font size. Here. Now, the effects that I was doing with the picture in the last slide, you can also do with text. You just have to select the graphic inspector, make sure the text box is selected. You can choose shadow, and once again you can adjust the offset. The offset and blur I found with text works best with 2. And we can take this off just so we can see that it does definitely make a difference. It makes your lettering pop out quite a bit more. And you can also choose reflection if you wanted to, as well as opacity for whatever reason. And that's about it, guys. I hope this helps you out. And obviously, if you need to get started, if you need help getting started, please feel free to contact me. Thanks.